Good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. For those of you that are watching live, I know it was a bit of a last-minute thing, so I'll quickly just say what I'm doing before we get going. So obviously there was double. Well, if you didn't know, there was double game weeks announced today for game week 34. We pretty much now know exactly when the rest of the double game weeks are going to be. So I just don't have time to make a proper video about it. So I thought I'd knock up a few images. We'll chat about what's happened, what's been announced, like it's a video that I'm recording. And then we'll just go into the live stream. It'll only be a short one tonight, but just ask some questions and kind of discuss kind of what our thoughts are going forward. So, yeah, like I said, I'm just going to chat for the first few minutes. I'm not going to look at the chat and stuff. There's a couple of polls up as normal about double game weeks. But yeah, I won't be looking at the chat for the first few minutes. I'm just going to go through the images that I've knocked up. So, hopefully this works. I'm going to check the chat just to make sure you can hear me okay. I think it sounds all good. Fresh trim. I had my haircut yesterday. Exactly the same haircut as yesterday. I streamed yesterday, right? Okay, weird. Anyway, let's get on with it. So today there was basically the announcement for what the double game weeks would be in game week 34. So it's not very inspiring, to be honest. I don't know if we already knew this was what it was going to be, but it's come down to it. It's not the kind of bumper double game we were hoping for. So Man United are probably the best team there, but they've got 2 away games. Burnley away, which is never really full of goals. They're a hard team to beat away from home. And then obviously Man City away, Derby. Who knows what will happen in that match? We're probably going to get at least 2. Maybe 3 players from United, but their fixture schedule is pretty hectic. So trying to get players that are going to play both games is going to be tricky. I suppose Ibra is going to be one, Valencia probably, and then maybe even De Gea if you want to double up on defence. But we'll discuss that later on. Then Bournemouth have the best fixtures, so they have. Middlesbrough have the best fixtures. There's going to be mistakes in this. It's live, or I've got nothing written down. So Middlesbrough have got Bournemouth away and Sunderland at home, so they have got the best fixtures. But other than defenders, I'm not really sure who you'd want from Middlesbrough. Like, there's Negredo up front, but we've just said there, is he going to maybe play one of the games? You just don't know. Their midfielders, I checked even their points for the whole season so far, and they're just not doing anything. So, I don't know. This is a horrible double game week, to be honest. And you know me, if you've watched these streams or you've seen them on the Scoutcast, I love double game weeks and I love getting kind of all in. And I'm sure I'll have a Middlesbrough player or two, but right now it's kind of hard to get excited about it. And then Crystal Palace, again, they've got a couple of players you might like, Zaha, Benteke, but Benteke's only scored like 1 goal in 13 or 14 games. I mean, he is off form by a long way, really. And they've got Liverpool away. Okay, yes, you can score goals at Liverpool, but it's still not the best fixture to have, I don't think. And then Spurs at home is going to be tricky. So, I mean, there's Van Arnold as well for Crystal Palace. Might be worth a look for attacking returns, but I don't think we're going to see clean sheets. So I know they're doing better with Saka on the team. But, yeah, it's not uninspiring is how I would call this double game week. But that's basically what's been announced. That's official now. We know those games that we played in double game week 34. And then moving on, basically, Arsenal and Southampton are also going to have a double game week outside of game week 34 or 37. Now, there's a chance it could be in 32 or 33. But from people who are like really into this, they've been checking this for a while, they're telling me that it's going to be in game week 35 or 36 because Arsenal are playing on Monday nights before game week 34, so it's very tough to fit it in the schedule. So basically, if it's in game week 35, Arsenal will have a double game week of Southampton away and Spurs away, which isn't great. And if it's in 36, instead of Spurs away, they'll have Man United at home. And then Southampton will have, obviously, Arsenal at home will be one of the fixtures. And then they'll have Hull at home, which is quite a nice fixture to have if it's in game week 35. Or it's Liverpool away in game week 36. And someone in the chat just reminded me Saka won't play against Liverpool because he's on loan. I forgot about that. I forgot it wasn't a transfer. So yeah, that's not looking good for Crystal Palace assets. But yeah, so again, the other problem we've got here, obviously, something to bear in mind is some people have held their triple captains. So like people like me used it on Aguero back in game week 27. Some people have held their triple captains. Now, if you're going to bench boost in game week 37, you're kind of getting a bit limited to where you can use that triple captain. So maybe Ibra in game week 34, but it's 2 away games. Potentially Sanchez in this fixture, but it could be Southampton away and Spurs where I don't know. It's going to be tricky when to use that. But yeah, these two teams will have double game week outside of 34 and 37, and it will be in 35 or 36. So obviously Wildcard comes into play for those that still got it. I'll chat about that afterwards because I'd be interested in hearing the chat's thoughts. But yeah, that's for Arsenal and Southampton. And then moving on, we basically know now that all the rest of the double game weeks will all be put into game week 37. It's not been confirmed, but most people are pretty certain this was going to happen. So there's loads of these. I'm just going to rattle through them. Arsenal have quite a nice one in game week 37, which would be good to use as triple captain on someone like Sanchez maybe, but this is going to be the game week for bench boost really. So Arsenal have got Sunderland at home and Stoke away. Chelsea have got West Brom away and Watford at home again. I think that's quite a good one. Quite a good double game week. Sunderland, Swansea at home, Arsenal away. Now, the Arsenal game is obviously not great, but it's right towards the end of the season. If Sunderland still have stuff to play for, that could be a nice fixture to bring players in from them, and obviously they'll be a bit cheaper as well. We've got to bear in mind if we're wildcarding for this game week, there's a lot of expensive players in these big teams like Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, who we'll come on to as well. And then West Brom, Chelsea at home, Man City away. That's awful. I don't think we're going to be, unless something like a miracle happens, I don't think we're going to be going for West Brom players. But with the likes of Macaulay, who can score in any game, you never know. We might go back to him, but I think for now we're going to get rid. And sorry, this is what happens when I do it live. West Brom will also blank in game week 34. They're the only team that's got a blank left after this week. So yeah, West Brom won't play in game week 34. Leicester, Man City away, Spurs at home, not great. And then moving on. Oh, I didn't move the webcam. Can you believe that? There we go. Spurs have Man United at home, Leicester away. That's maybe okay. I mean, I wouldn't mind having someone like Kane in for that if he's back, which he should be. Man City, again, have a really nice double game week. Obviously, they had the really good one in game week 27, so they got Leicester at home and West Brom at home. So that's a really nice double game week. So I'm going to be looking at getting Man City players back. Now, Gabriel Jesus might be back then, so that might put a bit of a spanner in the works because Pep is kind of bigging up Aguero at the moment. He's saying he's quite impressed with his performances. So if that carries on and Jesus comes back, who knows? We'll have to wait and see what Man City are still playing for. Southampton then have got Borough away and Man United at home. Man United have a pretty horrible double game week, to be honest. Spurs away and Southampton away. It's not ideal. Maybe you get 1 or 2 players from them. And then to round off, Watford with Everton away and Chelsea away. Again, you're not likely to want to go for them, but when it comes to getting in players on a budget, maybe you could look at, I don't know, midfielder, striker from them, just on the off chance they do something. So, that is all the kind of images I had. Just going to move back to the normal screen now. But so wildcard strategies, I've got a poll up. There's obviously 3 ways of doing this. Pretty much 3 ways. You either wildcard now, you start to look to get in those double game week players, maybe take a few hits along the way. I've personally kind of gone off that idea now because double game week 34 is not one I want to stack up on players and I don't want to be stuck with Crystal Palace players and Middlesbrough players. So the second option, which is more what I'm looking at now, is to take hits if needed to get those players in for game week 34 and then use my wildcard in 35 to get rid of them, basically, to get the ones that I want for the Arsenal-Southampton double game week, which hopefully we'll know about by then, or we should do if it's going to be in game week 35, and then to stock up for game week 37. So that's the one I'm currently preferring. And obviously the other one is just to hold it even longer, wildcard in game week 36, and then bench boost in 37. So bench boost for 37 does look the best. But obviously the triple captain options are also the best in game week 37, so I think most people are going to bench boost. But we'll see from there. So that's kind of the end of the video portion. I just wanted to run through that because I don't know if everyone's seen that today. Want to know which teams are playing where. So I'm going to actually look at the chat now, say hello, and act like this is just a standard live stream. And go for it, and the chat are now going to tell me everything that I missed, or everything I got wrong, like Sacco and missing West Brom. What's going on, people? Kev, how's it going? Carl, TM here as always. Big Ricey, the best. Fozzie, how's it going? Ben, good to see you. And here's I wish I'd put this on the polls actually. I would be... This is easy for me to say because I don't have my triple captainship, but is anyone considering just using it in a single game week? I just think I got 9 points for Aguero and I wasn't that bothered by it. It's hard to get the 25-point captain. You got a couple of opportunities throughout, because you want to mainly do it in a double game week. There's only a few of them, so I just wonder if it's best to use on an easy fixture for someone who's in form like Ali or Lukaku maybe. Don't know what people think about that. I mean, it's very hard to do, to tell yourself not to do it in a double game week, I suppose. I mean, Ibra in game week 34 looks okay, but I wouldn't be hugely confident with that. You've used it on Aguero and you regret not checking out single game weeks earlier in the season. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we're never going to do that. I'm never going to use it on a single game week earlier in the season because we want to wait until the double game week to find out what happens. Triple captain or bench boost on double game weeks? Really, both. But I'm a bit more wary of my bench boost this year. I don't want to jeopardise my team to use it. We'll see. Have I recovered from Paddy's weekend shenanigans? Yes. Actually went out Paddy's Day and the day after. In fact, I streamed on Paddy's Day night. Wasn't too drunk, to be honest. What players am I looking at? Oh, okay, so hang on, let me go through the questions. So someone asked me who I'm captaining this week. Probably Costa, but there's a chance I'll have Jamie Vardy in, so I might captain Vardy if I get him in. We'll see. Not that interested in Sigurdsson, even though I think it's a good fixture. How's it going, Jeremiah? Yeah, what players am I looking at for 34? So I think absolute shoe-ins are Ibra and Valencia. And I will probably go 3 for Man United. I really want it to be Mkhitaryan, the third one. But the fixture schedule, obviously we saw him get benched at the weekend. I'm a bit worried about him. So De Gea will be the other one who's kind of guaranteed to play. So De Gea, Valencia, Ibra. Crystal Palace, like I said just a minute ago, Benteke hasn't scored. He scored 1 goal in 13 or 14 game weeks, something like that. Zaha maybe for his price is quite easy to get in. could be a nice little differential. Maybe Van Arnold, but I just don't see clean sheets. So I suppose what's that? 4 players: Zaha, 3 United, and I don't want to get Middlesbrough play. I'd probably get in. I might get Valdez in. Actually, no, obviously not if I'm getting De Gea. But a Middlesbrough defender because the fixtures are quite nice. So someone like, I don't know, Chambers if he's fit, or Gibson, and then maybe Negredo, but that just sounds horrible to be honest. But if I'm wildcarding the week after, it's less of a risk, I suppose. It depends who I have to get rid of. I'm going to try and be more conscious of who I'm getting rid of. If I've got a player that's in form playing in a single game week, maybe I should keep him this time. We'll see. We will see. How about you guys? Who are you looking at getting in? Anyone I haven't mentioned? I feel like there's so... I mean, in Game Week 37 there's going to be a bit more of a kind of differential... Not differentials maybe, but different templates going on. I feel like in 34 it's quite hard to go different without like going for a super punt. I've already seen people now trying to convince themselves that, you know, teams like Middlesbrough have got good fixtures, so let's get them in now, but not for me. I have mentioned Benteke. In fact, I've mentioned Benteke twice. Both times to say he's awful. I mean, the good thing is, it's still, like, what, 5 weeks away, so we can kind of see if Middlesbrough do anything with the new boss. It does seem unlikely, but, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Traore's an interesting one. Like, I've seen him... I must admit, I don't go out of my way to watch Middlesbrough games, but Traore's looked okay. Maybe a bit of like a loose cannon, just, you know, that guy that kind of runs a lot and got no end product, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Mads is an interesting one. If you think he's going to potentially start both games, he always seems to pop up with a goal. And obviously there's Pogba, who's pretty much nailed when fit. Townsend, yeah. Does Townsend start... is he starting each game at the moment? I haven't even checked, to be honest. This is what I mean about Middlesbrough and Crystal Palace. I don't even know what their assets are doing because I don't really care. Where's Townsend? Oh yeah, he's been playing recently. Yeah, Mark will probably go for him. He's a big Townsend fan. Although he likes Zaha as well. What are my thoughts on Son? Yeah. My thoughts are I will probably keep him because I don't see Burnley away being a great fixture for any Spurs player. And just hope that he plays again. Because really, I said this on the last stream, when I looked at him, it was really these 3 fixtures that I wanted him for. Swansea away, Watford at home, Bournemouth at home. Now it's a bit of a worry whether he's going to play all them, but Pochettino really doesn't trust Janssen. He doesn't play that often. We'll see. I'm going to keep him. I'm not in a huge rush to get rid. Maybe if like Sanchez was injured or something and I had money to upgrade him, I might do it, but I don't think so. 70% sure Janssen will start. Any excuse to stream? Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't going to make a video this week. I just didn't think I was going to have time. I kind of like, I don't know, just had some bad news today and I just wanted to take my mind off it, so I thought I'd stream, quickly run through the double game week stuff and yeah, just go from there. It means I've got a video up on the double game weeks as well for anyone that's not watching live. It's kind of been the big talking point today, all in the FPL world. Unlikely to be big scores at this stage of the season. I don't know about that. Yeah, everything's good. No, nothing to worry about. But I just want to come and stream, get my mind off it. Chat to you weirdos about FPL. Thoughts on using the bench boost in 35-36. To be honest, the bench boost outside 37 is kind of like hit or miss, really. It's not going to be a great chip out of 37, I don't think. But maybe you shouldn't like worry about that too much if you think the triple captain could be good in 37. What I haven't done yet is So obviously it's still quite far away. Is I haven't looked. In fact, maybe we do it now. Have a really quick look at like kind of a team that you'd want to make. I can't remember what the fixtures are now. Because my thing with the bench boost in 37 is that, you know, you want Spurs, Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal players. You can't fit all them in with a good bench boost as well. Oh, I'm sorry, Big Rice, you're having a bad day now. There's 5 double game week fixtures in 37, 10 teams. Your wildcard's activated at the moment. Yeah, I've really gone off that idea. Now, it could still work. Do you know what I mean? There's plenty of games for it to be taken advantage of before the end of the season. Like, I don't have Spurs defenders. I don't have Ali. I don't have Vardy, who I'd really like right now. I don't have Valencia. So there's plenty of players I could get in. And then, like, for the next few weeks, get some points back for that. But right now, I'm kind of choosing to stick, I think. Pedro could be good, yeah. This is the most exciting double game week season yet. I think the double game weeks were better last year. The 34 one was, at least. And then we had one before that as well. Although I suppose we've had Man City. Bertrand, yeah, Bertrand's a nice pick for Southampton. I think for the game week 35-36, I'd be looking at Sanchez, Gabbiadini, Bertrand, Arsenal defender, and then maybe Walcott. I don't know though, we'll have to see. You do just benefit from it. Well, no, I'd probably go 35. But that means I can go all in on 34 if I want without any worries, because I can just get rid of him the next week. So I don't know. I still don't feel like my team needs a wild card. Not hugely. Yes, there's players I'd like to get rid of, but they're not getting in the way of the rest of my team. Thomas with triple captain Gabbiadini, Hull and Arsenal at home. If he doesn't do it, I'll be very disappointed, to be honest. We're all going to have Kapui on our benches in 37. Yeah, it could be back to him. No, I'm not going to wildcard for Game Week 34. I would wildcard the week after to get rid of all the crap from Game Week 34. But still be able to obviously stock up if I want to stock up on Crystal Palace and Middlesbrough players, but seriously not. Because the thing is, let's have a quick look actually. In Game Week 34, who has... Obviously, Liverpool single game week, they'll play Palace. That's a nice fixture. Who are... Obviously, Spurs playing Crystal Palace as well. That's their rearranged match. So, you maybe want players from there. Arsenal against Leicester could be good for Sanchez. So, you don't want to get rid of all your players to stock up on crap from Middlesbrough. But, defenders and goalkeepers... Why will there be a lot of crap in Game Week 34? Because it's Middlesbrough and Crystal Palace and the fixtures... Well, the Middlesbrough fixtures are okay, but their teams aren't great. How many hits am I looking at pre-Game Week 34? Good question. I mean, bearing in mind I still want Ali, maybe... Well, Valencia and Ibra are obviously okay because they've got the doubles. I don't know, I'll take whatever hits are needed, to be honest. I can see me taking one this week. I checked earlier. Taken quite a few recently. 24 in the last 2 weeks. 32. 40 in the last 5 weeks, I think that is. So 24, 32. Yeah, 40 in the last 5 weeks. Now I've gone up. Well, kind of. I've kind of gone up and then back down again. But we'll see. Have I made the Fantasy Football Scout cut? I haven't, I don't think. I got like 78 minus 8, so I'm screwed basically. Aguero not worth 12.7, maybe not, but that is a nice double game week in 37. Am I using the wildcard in 35, 36? Probably, but I don't want to like fully commit because anything could change. All it takes is another few injuries this week, and maybe it's best to use it this week. Worried about game week 37 rotation? Yeah, possibly. I mean, a lot will depend on what kind of. What we want is Chelsea to have a bit of a blip now, and for it to get a bit tighter at the top, but not be over by game week 37. That does seem unlikely. But if, say, like Man United, Arsenal, Man City, and Spurs are still trying to get to like second, third, fourth place, then that could be good. I wouldn't be so worried about rotation then. $72 is safe in the members cut. I'm still screwed there. People who've used their wildcard is a good strategy to even their team out with a mix of double game week and single game weeks. Yeah, I mean, obviously, people who've used their wildcard can still take hits. I mean, players like Ibra and Valencia, I think they're good, especially Valencia right now. I think it's good to get in anyway. But you're probably not going to be going for like 5, 6, 7 players in game week 34 because you just don't want to load up on most of those players. So I think you get in the key ones and then maybe think about. I suppose you're kind of gambling that they're not gonna score the points the other players. So yeah, I'd get a couple and then for 37 I would take hits at that point. Did any of you get that FPL magazine? I actually signed up but didn't get it. It seems a bit odd because I tweeted them today like that you're gonna have to like rewrite stuff, but it's they've tried to write it so that it's not based on specifics. But FPL changes so quickly. I don't know how you can make multiple magazines about just theory. But we'll see. I haven't read it yet, so I'll give it a chance first. There's some good people writing for it, so it could be interesting. Any early thoughts on double game week captain? That is a good question. I hadn't actually, through all the excitement today, I haven't thought about it. Let me just get back up. Let me get up the double game week screens a sec. So in 34, I think it's going to be Ibra. Like for me, there's absolutely no doubts about that. It'll be Ibra for me. I don't see why I would go for anyone else. 35, it's probably going to be Sanchez, no matter whether it's Spurs or Man United. But to be honest, if Southampton were to get Hull and Arsenal, I'd be quite tempted by GW30. Might be an interesting differential, but Sanchez would be the main one. And then obviously 37 is where it gets a bit more exciting. Excuse me. So again, I like Sanchez in that. Especially if Arsenal's still got something to play for. We'll have to see kind of what his situation's like, contract situations with Wenger, etc. But I think Sanchez looks good there. Kane, also good. And then Man City, I really like that. Maybe a differential captain like Sané or something. If you're really chasing, because at that point you've got 2 weeks left. Like if you're still chasing, you've got to take a chance. So yeah, maybe someone like Sané captain could be good. But I think 35 and 34 kind of choose themselves almost. We'll have to see. We'll have to take form and all sorts into account from here. But yeah, maybe even Gabbiadini again. But there's some interesting fixtures there. Like Leicester could be better, to be honest. Chelsea's is nice, but what will they have to play for at that point? We'll have to wait and see. If Sanchez is confirmed out for a few games, who will I replace him with? Probably Ali, but I don't like having to bring in Ali against Burnley away. But I can't see how much longer I can go without Ali, to be honest. Especially if he's going to be on penalties. I know he kind of said he just picked the ball up because he won it, but he scored. I don't see why he'd come off him all of a sudden. Unless, of course, Jansen's on the pitch. If Kane is fit for 34, is he a better option than Ibra double? I mean, potentially, but for me, I'm always going to play, I suppose, the percentages and that 2 games is better than 1. So yeah, maybe Kane would score better, but I'd probably go Ibra still. I think it takes a very brave person to go for the single game week. Especially when there's a big player like Ibra playing. Who are my main defensive targets at the moment? Probably Valencia and Walker. Well, I'd prefer Rose if I'm honest, but if he obviously he's injured now, so yeah, maybe I'd be tempted by Fuchs as well this week. Well, that's a little bit out there, but did Conte used to rotate Juventus when they won the league earlier? I wouldn't have a clue if I'm honest. Sure, someone does though. You think you're the only one who thinks Sanchez will be fine for next game? It does sound pretty good for him, to be honest. I'm not getting rid of him just yet. Previous seasons I regretted taking too many hits, and this season I regret not taking enough. That's one of the things about like kind of FPL theory. Okay, fair enough. Probably hits tend to probably not work most seasons, like if you're continuously taking them. But this season's been different, and hits have worked. Hits have mean people have got higher team value in some cases, which I really think is going to help in Game Week 37. So yeah, each season's different. You just have to take it as it comes and try and adapt. But like I'm kind of stuck in my ways. Like I already know kind of what kind of structure I'll go for at Game Week 1 next season. I'll go all in for double game weeks and get rid of my Spurs players again, I'm sure. But if you can learn from it, then you'll be a better manager, I'm sure. Villaronca does well without hits. Exactly, every season. Plans for Alonso when double game week 37 comes. He'll be in my team still. Nothing better than an attacking defender in double game weeks. West Brom and Watford. Decent fixtures. You wanted Sanchez and King. Yeah, but to be fair as well, like you have to get lucky with hits sometimes. Like I took hits in Game Week 30... Game Week 28 when the blanks were on. I did alright, but if I got Llorente and just Coutinho on Baines, for example, then I'd be screwed. Instead, I got Lukaku, Coleman, and King, and they did well. But I also got Coutinho and Carroll. They did nothing. So we'll see. And like this week, I took hits. I didn't get hugely punished for it because the players I took out didn't really score that well. But Sanchez did okay, but Son and Costa did nothing. So, oh yeah, I saw that triple captain Hazard and vice captain Craig Dawson. That's just ridiculous. How long does it take to everyone else to get over a bad game that you think is impacting your personal life? I get over it pretty quick, I think. Still annoyed about Jamie Vardy, but that's a whole different story. You're still getting over Game Week 1, yeah, it was a bit of a bad start. You want Sigurdsson out. Sigurdsson's done not a lot wrong, to be fair. I'm a bit worried about King with his fixtures, but I'm happy to give him Southampton, I think. How's it going, Chris? Mane captain option versus Everton. Yeah, I think he is, but I don't know about Costa. That's what I'm currently on. I'm not that happy about it, but I think it might be the best option for me. Yeah, I know King's not great, but he's quite cheap, so unless you've got an easy way to get someone more expensive in, he's probably going to stay for me for a little bit. We'll see. I mean, he could score against Southampton and Liverpool, so I don't know. Worth keeping Llorente one more week? I think it probably is with Middlesbrough at home. Are there more Game Week 34 fixtures to be announced? No, this is it, I think. Who other than Costa would I captain? Like, as my team stands right now, Mane is probably the other one. Sigurdsson, I don't know. don't think the ceiling's high enough on Sigurdsson. Like, I'd rather do Mane, I think. Won't Burnley be on the beach by Gameweek 34? Maybe. Yeah, I think Vardy captain is a good option this week. If you've got him. Is it the Stoke or Sunderland game? Stoke, yeah. I mean, Stoke have been doing a bit better recently, but... If I could have anyone who would have captain, there really isn't... Yeah, Hazard, yeah, probably, if he's fit. Fully fit, maybe Gagliardini. I don't know. I don't know how... I wonder how much of a flash in the pan Gagliardini is. I don't know. Yeah, probably Hazard, Gagliardini, or... I honestly think Vardy could be a good option. What order would you bring in United players? Well, obviously, Ibra kind of makes it a bit handy because he's going to miss the next game, so probably Valencia first. Do you need Ibra in straight away? I don't know. He's obviously... Good thing about him getting suspended from an FPL point of view is he's had a bit of a rest. But yeah, Chelsea at home's not great. Sunderland away's okay, so's Everton. But yeah, probably Valencia. I might get Ibra here, but yeah, that depends if I'm sick of Costa at that point. And I think Costa has Bournemouth soon, so maybe not. What am I drinking? Oh yeah, someone asked me earlier if it's Pepsi. It's just blackcurrant squash. It's like a bottle of water that I topped up with a little bit of blackcurrant squash. Flash in the pan comes. I don't know. Like Gagliardini's come on the scene. He scored loads of goals. Can he keep it up? I don't know. I don't know a lot about him. Danny Welbeck captain. Do you know what? That's actually a really interesting differential you bring up there. Obviously played in the last game. If Arsenal go on any kind of run and he's involved, maybe for I don't think I'd captain him in a double game week, but certainly be interested in bringing him in. Maybe could be a nice differential. But obviously he takes up a forward slot, not midfield, so it's a bit trickier. Is it imperative to have 3 Arsenal players? I probably will go for 3 Arsenal because they have 2 double game weeks and I'll probably wildcard. So yeah, Sanchez, a defender, and one other. It's just who that one other is, really. Unless the double up isn't worth the money. I know, but I think, especially for those, this is what I said last week about Vardy, then didn't take my own advice. Like, yes, Vardy at 9.6 million is probably too expensive, given what he's done. But they're in form. People with wildcards in their back pocket can take a punt and then get rid of him. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying earlier about the double game. Yes, there are big hitters in 37. Kane, Ibra, Costa, Aguero, like you say. It's going to be tough. One of them has to leave out. Now, for me, it'll probably be Costa, but Chelsea got some good fixtures. Will Chelsea have anything to play for at that point? I don't know. Yeah, which Arsenal defender's tricky? Usually I'd gravitate towards Bellerin, but I'd be tempted by Koscielny as well. Probably one of those two. Bellerin just hasn't looked the same though this year. Obviously Arsenal in general not great, but I think Sanchez is going to be okay, but you have to wait and see. There's no rush on it really. Yeah, James, how's it going? Alonso's kind of... I've thought about getting rid of Alonso before, but every time I do, he pops up with attacking returns. So I know they haven't been keeping clean sheets recently. It's a bit of a worry, but he's still popping up with the odd assist goal here and there. I've got a lot of money wrapped up in him. Crystal Palace up next is nice. Bournemouth away is okay. Double game weeks at the end of the season with some nice fixtures. I'm probably going to keep. I think it's a very tough decision, or even brave decision, if you get rid of Alonso, especially if you got him at 5.9. Will United stick to 3-4-3? No, I don't think so. Blackcurrant Scotch is great. Yeah, I showed my missus the Bellerin haircut. I was like, why do people go for these like half man bun things? It just never looks good. I mean, yeah, sure, I can't say much about hair, but seriously. Like for me, someone like Alonso is, do I ever want to use a free transfer getting rid of a player that's done so well for me, who still has some okay fixtures coming up and a double game week? Probably not. When I got all this other stuff to sort. Alright, let me take a quick look at the polls. By the way, let's hit that like button for impromptu double game week streams. On 38 currently, I know we can bump that up. Let's see what subs we're on. 946 subscribers. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. There'll be more streams, videos, etc. to come. Polls. There's only 2 polls. Went to Wildcard, so I can't remember. I should have recorded what the poll results were from the last stream yesterday, literally. Game week 35 plus is 62%. Game week 30 to 32, so kind of right now, is 27%, and then 33 to 34 is 10%. 33 to 34 is gonna. I don't think that's gonna win out of most people now, because game week 34 isn't as nice as we were hoping. My hairline's receding. I know it has been for years. How many double game week players in 34? So 4 to 6 is 51%. 0 to 3, 42%, and 7 plus 6%. So 3 out of 45 people that responded are going to get 7 plus players from Game Week 34. I'd like to see if that actually happens. But 4 to 6 seems about fair. Like I said earlier, 3 United, then a couple of others maybe. Interestingly enough, actually, talking about like clean sheets and stuff. I mean, maybe this isn't surprising because of the way he plays, but where is it now? I just want to double check. Yeah, Man United have only conceded 2 less goals than Spurs and Chelsea, and they're considered like the best defence in the league by a mile. We've only conceded 2 less. Or 2 more, sorry. They've conceded 21, we've conceded 23. I thought that was kind of interesting. Oh no, the hairline is definitely receding. I won't bend my head down too far. How's it going, Espen? Hope school's all good. You think 3 game week 34 players max? Yeah, that's probably the sensible option, to be honest. But when it comes around to it, I'll be convincing myself that I need to get Middlesbrough attackers in. I can see it. How's it going, Killian? Alonso triple captain, a shout. Yeah, a defender always comes away with a lot of points, but I don't know. United conceded 1 goal in a lot of games. That happened last year actually for Spurs for a while. Like they were, obviously we kept saying they were the best defence, and they were, but they were still, from an FPL point of view, 1 goal was just as annoying as 2, really. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I kind of like the wildcard in 35. I can just, if I want to go stupid in Game Week 34, I can. My barber says if you can fit more than 4 fingers between your brow and hairline, then you're losing it. Oh, God. Yeah, I probably can just about. You got 100 points this game week, Espen. Very, very nice. Will I be looking to get Mkhitaryan back in Game Week 34? I don't know. The benching was a bit of a nuisance at the weekend, but I am going to be seriously tempted to get Mkhitaryan, because I'd like to kind of play a bit more positive than just going 2 United defenders and Ibra. I'd like to go for 2 attackers, but it is 2 hard away games, so I don't know. Is it worth keeping Baines? Probably, unless you've got absolutely nothing else to do and you can afford a transfer to like Coleman, who does seem to be the better option. I would probably just keep, or even if you want. Obviously, they got 2 tough fixtures now, I suppose. So maybe Walker or Valencia could be good. Depends if you want him for Leicester and Burnley at home, but might not be worth holding that long. Yeah, Mata, yeah, a lot of people are saying him. I think he's, can't remember how many games he started recently. I mean, Pogba's the one to go for if you don't want any worries about him sitting out. Yeah, Mata started the last few. 2 goals and assists in 4, that's nice, but will he get 2 starts over a double game week? No, exactly, you're right. Apart from De Gea, Valencia and Ibra, they probably are a bit of a risk, but sometimes you've got to take that risk, especially for double game week. Baines to Valencia and Aguero to Vardy for a hit. So I like Vardy this week. I don't know if you need to take out Aguero before Arsenal. I think Aguero's still an okay option, to be honest. Am I glad I used the triple captain? I'm happy enough with 9 points. It's not amazing. Obviously, I wish I could get 25 to 30 or whatever, but I kind of like the fact that I have. It's almost like a relief that I don't need to worry about it. Obviously, it'd be quite nice to have it still, but I'm not that bothered. De Gea looks like a really good option. Yeah, I have to just see what finances are like, I suppose, because there's quite a lot to invest in a goalkeeper. But again, if I can wildcard him out, might not be such a bad idea. If you don't need De Gea, who's the... Yeah, because obviously Valdez is an option too. To be honest, I guess I could maybe... Valencia, midfielder, Ibra, and then I'd almost be tempted if I had enough transfers, which is probably unlikely, to double up on Middlesbrough defence, Valdez and Chambers, or Valdez and Gibson. King could be good for 37. Oh, that's a long way off to be worrying about that, I think. Join you with Hennessy? Oh, no. Don't think so. If I get any defender from Palace, any like defender goalkeeper, it'll be Van Arnold, I suppose, if he's fit. Mark has been incredibly lucky and boring. Oh, I think that's a little bit harsh. He's been quite aggressive with his transfers. So I don't think he's been boring. Middlesbrough player smelling his fingers in the thumbnail. I can't remember what it looks like now. Who did I put in? Oh, Downing, yeah. I tried to find Negredo, but couldn't find a good picture. He is smelling his fingers a bit. I suppose he's been a bit lucky. Everyone has to get a bit lucky from time to time, but yeah, I'm not sure boring is the word. I think you should put Aguero in your team, but don't assume my gender.